When I heard Pastor Ron Lucky say in a sermon at Faith Lutheran Church that he was a believer on Sunday, but by Thursday nearly an atheist, I knew what he meant. What faith we have is reinforced in the gathered church, but almost as soon as we leave worship, we start to get worn down. One reason is secularism. Now, secularizing isn't new, of course. It's just that its influence didn't strike in the United States quite so forcibly until after the Cold War, and then by the 21st century, it landed on us hard. And of course, the world is full of injustices. Truth and goodness seem on the defensive. A kind of hard, cranky, know-it-all fundamentalism has surfaced and turned us off. Our society once looked positively upon religious faith, but now is quite as likely to be indifferent or even suspicious. High-profile folks who used to be Baptists or Presbyterians or Catholics or Jewish may now be skeptical or even openly disdainful. So we're worn down, certainly at least getting there by Thursday. And the question is whether it's even possible for a person of integrity to sustain some kind of Christian faith that's truly in touch with contemporary thought and experience, and at the same time inclusive and generous and appropriately modest, but also holds on faithfully to the heart and soul of the gospel. These are things I've been thinking about for a long time, partly because I've been a pastor, professor, a writer for the church. That's the kind of thing I do, but mostly because these questions are real and personal and urgent for me as much as for many, many others. And so I wrote this book not to argue skeptics into faith, if that's even possible, not to debate, but to explore what faith is and what it isn't, and where it comes from, and how a reasonable person might actually hold firm in faith without being tempted to use it as a weapon. The book is written for people who have at least a little bit of faith, or want to, and are looking for some solid ground to stand on. Looking maybe for a way of explaining, at least to themselves, why to persist in faith when the support we used to be accustomed to has been withdrawn. I hope you might find it useful for personal or group study and reflection.